A serene garden glowed under the moonlight, wrapping everything in tranquil hush. Sheng sat on the floor, lost in contemplation, while a figure watched from the doorway. A cloaked figure stood confidently, her determined gaze piercing the shadows. Sheng looked surprised when an unseen character asked why he had returned so soon. Meanwhile, the figure remained calm and adjusted the cloak while waiting for the venerable guide's arrival. The delay only deepened the tension as everyone wondered who would appear next. Sheng demanded to know why the other character was present and whether they had the spirit-nourishing liquid. A mysterious purple-haired figure calmly told Sheng that someone wanted to meet him. Frustration hung in the air as Sheng sat on the ground demanding information from him. The purple-haired figure hinted at someone familiar to Sheng, leaving intrigue and curiosity in the dim light. Sheng looked puzzled, wondering who the familiar person might be. A figure introduced Sheng as the pinnacle of humanity. A figure smirked and greeted an unseen character with a playful tone, filling the atmosphere with suspense and intrigue. A sudden threat loomed over the scene, and Sheng reacted with shock, his expression revealing a deep sense of fear. An unknown figure startled Sheng, who lay on the ground, surprised and frightened by the unexpected encounter. Revealed a name, and Sheng's face registered shock and confusion. A tense atmosphere hung between them as the confident leader stood resolutely beside his worried companion. The female character expressed her vulnerability, fearing she couldn't protect herself against Sheng. The revelation left Sheng shocked and distressed as he struggled to comprehend Lord referring to someone else as Lord. A cosmic backdrop loomed as Sheng expressed disbelief about the power dynamics on Azure Planet, questioning the martial saint's demeaning address. A tense silence enveloped them as anxiety swirled in the air. Sheng questioned someone about their remarkable level, confused about the events that led to it. A menacing figure loomed over Sheng, casting an ominous shadow that deepened his apprehension. A dark atmosphere settled as Sheng delivered an ultimatum to the other character, presenting a chilling choice between two paths: live or die. A surge of panic coursed through the air as Sheng's wide eyes reflected his terror. He stuttered his words, grappling with the overwhelming fear that consumed him. A menacing smirk crossed Sheng's face as he declared his intent to choose for the other character, leaving a heavy silence in the air. A chilling silence enveloped the scene as Sheng clutched his head in distress, overwhelmed by the weight of his choices. Swirling patterns danced before him, entrancing Sheng as he felt a mix of wonder and confusion. Sheng raised his hand with authority, sparing the kneeling figure's life, and a sense of gratitude filled the air around them. Startled and distressed, Sheng expressed confusion through sounds that echoed in the tense atmosphere. Sheng felt a surge of frustration as he watched the indifferent figure walk away, dismissing his concerns about a friend's dire state. Sheng smirked, explaining that he had erased most of his memories, leaving him vulnerable and unable to achieve greatness again. Sheng confidently proposed a new plan, believing changing his target could lead to something meaningful for mankind. Sheng expressed excitement about his training, feeling as though he was gaining the poise of martial ancestors and sages. A startled Sheng responded obediently to the Lord, his surprise evident in his expression. A sudden shock washed over Sheng, his wide eyes reflecting disbelief as he processed the unexpected turn of events. A wave of relief surged through Sheng as he celebrated his survival, disbelief transforming into joy. A triumphant man raised his fist high, a wide grin stretching across his face as he declared his newfound life. A wave of sorrow enveloped Sheng as he expressed his emotional pain, tears streaming down his face. A heavy silence hung in the air as Sheng mourned deeply for his lost family, tears flowing freely. A fierce determination ignited within Sheng as he vowed to return and exact revenge on those who had destroyed his family. A deep frustration settled in Sheng as he scratched his head, pondering how to return to his original world. A burst of excitement filled the air as Sheng eagerly announced the arrival of a new system. He shared details about a mission involving the defeat of 10 million monsters. Once completed, he believed he could summon a martial ancestor for great power. A determined Sheng expressed his hope of reviving his parents, believing the martial ancestor would grant him the power to return. A determined Sheng smiled confidently, vowing to conquer 10 million monsters to secure the great inheritance he sought. A distant roar echoed as a determined Sheng sprinted towards the battlefield, fueled by urgency and a fierce resolve. He declared his intent to confront the monsters. Amazement filled the air as a surprised character questioned how Sheng had achieved such a feat. Sheng confidently replied that it was merely salvaging trash. A thoughtful Sheng reflected on his memories, revealing the dream space absorbed countless wild experiences he had slightly altered. A thoughtful and creative Sheng concentrated, holding his brain, manipulating it with determination to create a new version of him. A confident Sheng listened intently, as declared his commitment to protect humanity from monsters. A confident and composed Sheng walked beside a determined and focused female companion in a structured corridor, their expressions revealing deep thoughts. A pensive Sheng observed a distant figure, lost in contemplation about the unfolding events. A tense confrontation unfolded as an angry man with dark hair glared disapprovingly at a defensive young woman, demanding to know what she was looking at. A girl tumbled from the branches of a tree, her descent unexpected and startling in the quiet surroundings. Sheng recognized her from discussions he had overheard. A confident woman proposed that Sheng consider her daughter, suggesting she could agree on his behalf. A humorous exchange unfolded as a confident Sheng claimed he already had a E, dismissing the seriousness of the situation. Another Sheng explained that having multiple wives was common, especially in their era. Sheng was introduced as a one-of-a-kind talent, his potential impacting the entire Azure planet. A playful conversation unfolded as a Sheng dismissed the other characters, teasing remarks about his interests. A confident woman with a sly smile suggested something intriguing to Sheng. A somber reflection echoed as a grieving woman recounted the loss of her husband and the long years of solitude that followed. Sheng listened thoughtfully, absorbing her heartfelt story. A comical moment broke the tension as a Sheng coughed humorously, bewildered by the absurdity of the situation. A cunning and taunting character smirked as she questioned Sheng about the energy crystals. Sheng appeared troubled, questioning an unseen authority about the possibility of keeping what he desired. A tense conversation unfolded in a grand, architectural setting, revealing the stakes of an impending conflict. The cautious character warned Sheng about the consequences of not returning the guide. In a grand hall, a curious Sheng engaged another character in a deep conversation about martial arts and its civilization. The Sheng asked the transcendent martial saint to share more about the guide and its origins. A mysterious glow enveloped the swirling portal, hinting at secrets waiting to be uncovered. Sheng touched the portal, amused by the stories it held within. A holographic display illuminated the room, capturing the attention of a Sheng and another character. Sheng observed the holographic display, intrigued by its depth. The confident female character pointed at the display, sharing her insights. A vibrant galaxy unfolded, revealing the Azure planet, a level 1 resource planet within the galaxy. A cosmic scene unfolded, revealing several planets amidst a burst of light, hinting at battles yet to come. The Sheng listened intently to the narration about a powerful battlefront planet. The Sheng listened as an informative voice explained how planets were classified based on their unique attributes. Sheng expressed curiosity about the level 1 resource planet and its significance. The speaker confirmed that classifications depended on each planet's characteristics and resources. He elaborated on the Azure planet's limited energy crystals and its designation. The speaker noted that battlefront planets were closer to, intensifying their fighting situations. He compared their planet's defense at rifts to the battles fought on these crucial planets. Various planets floated in a cosmic expanse, each with distinct features and purposes, from beautiful garden planets to those designated as trash. The Sheng pondered the shared beliefs of the Azure planet's sociology, realizing the universe's vastness doesn't change the essence of humanity. The atmosphere grew tense as a serious female character pointed at a holographic display, revealing dire possibilities for every planet. A serious Sheng revealed that their Azure planet might become a battlefront, heightening the tension in the room. A curious Sheng looked at the other character, asking what they meant by their earlier statement. An ethereal guide appeared amidst radiant purple light, revealing the purpose of their visit to the gathering crowd. The guide explained that they came once every 10 years to assess the monster invasion situation. Sheng listened intently, his curiosity piqued by the TM's words. A heavy silence settled as a Sheng explained the universe's imminent threat, his voice filled with concern. A warm glow surrounded a reflective Sheng as he considered his newfound lightness and the responsibilities lifted from his shoulders. A thoughtful Sheng contemplated the future of humanity on the Azure planet, expressing concern about its development into a battlefront. A hopeful atmosphere enveloped the scene, as Sheng smiled with closed eyes, envisioning a peaceful future ahead. A tense confrontation brewed as a Sheng faced his challenger, who appeared confident yet defiant. The Sheng expressed that making random claims is a taboo. A curious atmosphere enveloped the scene as Sheng asked the surprised girl about leaving the Azure planet. The sun set behind them, casting long shadows as a Sheng pondered his future. Sheng revealed his wish for a peaceful life filled with family. A clear sky loomed overhead as a determined Sheng reflected on his martial arts journey. He recognized that reaching the martial saint level was likely his limit. He thought about the years he dedicated to martial arts, giving his all. He realized he should find time for the things he truly wanted to do. A serious female character warned Sheng about not offending the guide. Moments later, she explained that both paths were controlled by the guide. A pensive Sheng extended his hand, contemplating the daunting challenges that lay ahead. He reflected on his insight about leaving not being easy. His thoughts turned to the limits of his martial skills and the role technology played in overcoming obstacles. He questioned if a level 9 martial artist could truly handle intergalactic travel. A casual conversation unfolded as two characters walked away from the viewer. A confident Sheng reassured the other character about knowing his own limits. The informative figure agreed, promising to share more about advanced technology. A thoughtful Sheng listened as Sheng expressed concern about his daughter and urged for more consideration on the matter. A pensive Sheng listened intently as a hopeful child expressed uncertainty about a future agreement with Dong. A playful Sheng felt surrounded by 4 women, each showing affection in their own charming ways. He expressed reluctance about marrying concubines, insisting he still believed in the one husband and wife rule. One of the women hugged him, her cheerful smile brightening the moment. Another leaned on him, radiating happiness and warmth. A playful smile from yet another woman teased him, adding to the light-hearted atmosphere. The last woman placed her hand on him, her gesture full of compassion and care. Sheng enjoyed a warm dinner with old acquaintances, laughter and stories weaving a nostalgic atmosphere around the table. A serene night enveloped Sheng's home, casting a calm atmosphere over the quiet surroundings. A tense atmosphere filled the air as a determined Sheng observed his surroundings, his focus sharp amid the blurring chaos. A surreal environment surrounded a focused and determined Sheng as he manipulated glowing rectangular panels, each flicker sparking a new possibility. A glowing digital display illuminated the room as Sheng contemplated the strange information before him. He realized the data he had gathered seemed completely false. Sheng contemplated his next challenge, realizing he needed to reach level 9 or defeat a level 10 to raise his limits further. A glowing screen illuminated the room, and a Sheng reflected on the weight of his future. He reviewed the future prediction, realizing the gap between his strength and the guide's. A confident Sheng smirked, reflecting on how the pressure of a near-death experience could push him to new heights. A glowing interface captured his attention as he leaned closer, curiosity sparking in his eyes. He pointed at the screen, eager to uncover the secrets within. A Sheng reacted with surprise, his brow furrowing as he processed unexpected news. In a cityscape bathed in crimson light, a reflective and somber Sheng contemplated the fleeting memories of his past. A chaotic scene engulfed him, leaving a Sheng bewildered by the destruction surrounding him. He expressed confusion about dying again amidst the chaos. A determined Sheng pointed towards a glowing panel, his curiosity piqued by the information it revealed about the dream space's predictions. A looming figure held a glowing orb, casting an ominous glow over everything. Sheng contemplated the threat of an existence above level 11. A tense atmosphere enveloped the scene as Sheng stared in shock. Sheng realized the source of danger was from the rift. A tense atmosphere surrounded Sheng as he analyzed the looming threat that could emerge from the abyssal crack. Cracked earth smoldered beneath Sheng's feet and flames danced around him, revealing the devastation surrounding the Azure planet's remnants. He examined the destruction, expressing concern about the unknown force that had caused it. Frustration surged through Sheng as he gripped his head in dismay. He exclaimed that everything was chaos because of his claims. Frustration deepened in Sheng as he reflected on the crisis, blaming for the sudden chaos that erupted. A determined Sheng contemplated his future, believing 8 years could change everything despite the current calamity he faced. A determined Sheng stood amidst fragmented memories of loved ones, resolving to protect them at all costs. He contemplated leaving the Azure planet if things worsened. A determined Sheng stood on a deserted road, facing the sunset as conflicted thoughts swirled in his mind. He struggled with the weight of his conscience regarding his on Azure planet. A determined Sheng stood resolute, vowing to become stronger and change everything around him. A beautiful house basked under a clear sky, with a vibrant rainbow arching overhead, hinting at newfound hope. A cheerful Sheng waved goodbye to his parents, ready for the next adventure alongside a friendly female character. A curious Sheng watched a couple standing close together, intrigued by their relaxed demeanor. A thoughtful Sheng contemplated leaving, reflecting on how quickly things had changed since his return. Sheng held another person's hand, a gesture filled with warmth and connection, as the world around them faded into the background. A confident female character playfully asked if Sheng felt nervous. A playful Sheng smirked, suggesting that the question was better suited for someone else's father. A bright and serene house stood amidst lush greenery, radiating peace in a world fraught with challenges. Moments later, a Sheng approached the home, contemplating his next steps. A casual man with dark hair sipped coffee while reading a newspaper, lost in thought about the events unfolding around him. A puff of powdered drink burst from the mug, leaving a Sheng flustered and frustrated. He realized he forgot to add water. A concerned elderly woman questioned why a disheveled man started drinking coffee before adding water. Steam curled into the air as a kettle poured hot water into a steaming cup, creating a moment of calm. A wave of anxiety washed over an anxious martial master as he expressed his nervousness to the concerned waitress nearby. The tension escalated as an older woman expressed her unease about the visit, her voice tinged with worry. A defiant man with intense eyes leaned forward, asserting his knowledge to the Taoist woman with fierce conviction. Sheng stood confidently, exuding a powerful presence as he addressed the seated man, whose calm demeanor contrasted sharply with his energy. In a cozy room, a pensive man reflected on his pride in his sons and shared his feelings about the past. A confident Sheng stands tall, with a figure gazing intently at him from behind. A proud and contemplative figure reflected on his greatest accomplishment, realizing it was the birth of his daughter. An elderly woman smiled as she reminisced about family traits, thinking their daughter took after her instead of him. A notification appeared on the phone, marking their imminent arrival at Mountain Airport. A tense conversation unfolded, urgency thickening the air as they prepared for the approaching visitors. The anxious female character warned the male character that they needed to head down quickly. A wave of urgency washed over a worried character as she spoke about the Qin and families rushing to Mountain Airport. A casual atmosphere settled as a confident man gestured toward a woman, indicating their familiarity. He explained that their friends were coming soon. An airplane soared into the sky, leaving behind the bustling Mountain Airport and the anticipation that hung in the air. Tension filled the air as a large airplane approached a group of men in blue uniforms standing in formation. Sheng stood firmly on the staircase, supporting the confident woman beside him as the airplane loomed overhead, ready for their next adventure. A group of disciplined and eager soldiers saluted with respect, awaiting commands from their unknown superior. A sense of nostalgia hung in the air as Sheng gazed thoughtfully into the distance. He reflected on his early envy of martial arts masters, imagining their commanding presence. A Sheng contemplated the emptiness of luxury, realizing it stripped away the joy of ordinary life. A casual conversation unfolded at the airport as a Sheng expressed his dislike for crowds. Then, an unknown character suggested they go somewhere private. A confident Sheng smiled as he held a girl close, ready to embark on their next adventure. An explosion erupted near the airplane, sending shockwaves through the air. A group of onlookers stood frozen, their faces reflecting sheer terror and disbelief. A sudden realization struck the soldiers: their general had vanished without a trace. A panicked soldier shouted, expressing disbelief over the general's disappearance. His comrades reacted with alarm, their expressions filled with confusion and worry. A determined Sheng stood on the sidewalk, raising his hand to hail a cab 10 kilometers away. A taxi bumped along the road, its interior filled with a tense anticipation. The confident female character instructed the driver to head to Mountain Lake Estate. Sheng sat quietly beside her, absorbing the unfolding situation. A yellow car sped down the city street, its engine roaring with determination. Sheng shouted to stay tight as he accelerated, focused on the road ahead. A friendly and engaging man in a car smiled as he glanced at the passengers, breaking the tension with a lighthearted comment about celebrity couples. Sheng complimented the other character, noting their looks and aura after years of driving a cab. Sheng chuckled at the driver's cheerful praise, appreciating the lighthearted moments shared in the car. Sheng expressed his annoyance about needing to tip an additional $100, feeling it was an unnecessary burden. A yellow car drove down the road, blending into the ordinary scenery as time passed. A curious driver glanced at the cordoned-off area and wondered if a big shot was visiting today. A confident Sheng suggested sneaking in, leaning forward in the car, while an older man listened, visibly concerned. An elderly man smiled as he held a booklet, playfully advising a young master to avoid getting caught and wishing him good luck. A tense atmosphere filled the air as a large crowd gathered outside a grand building. Sheng surveyed the crowd, his focus sharp and determined. Sheng felt a wave of anxiety wash over him as he noticed the overwhelming crowd surrounding the entrance, worried about being watched while visiting his father-in-law. Sheng stood relaxed, exhaling smoke while glancing at someone unseen in the distance. He suggested they approach Chin. Sheng exhaled thoughtfully, smoke curling away from him as he contemplated the unseen figure in the distance. Before anyone could understand what had happened, a man was suddenly blasted backward between the towering figures. His eyes widened in shock as he realized the gap in strength was far greater than he had expected. The tense atmosphere suddenly eased when a familiar face appeared. Recognizing Chin and his companion, the Sheng greeted them enthusiastically before immediately slipping back into his usual arrogant attitude. A playful Sheng teased Officer Chin, expressing mock concern about going overboard with his actions. A joyful reunion unfolded as a confident and pleased Sheng fist bumped his excited friend. A curious Sheng looked surprised, asking about the latest news. The air thickened with excitement as a green-haired character eagerly revealed the legend of a powerful military figure to his intrigued companions. A curious young woman pondered the rumors surrounding a powerful figure, questioning Sheng about his past battles and victories against the world's martial saints. A tense atmosphere settled over the Dong family's home, filled with unspoken truths and anxious glances. Sheng considered the implications of the military's leak, feeling a wave of concern. A playful Sheng with green hair asked Sheng about the aftermath of defeating, eager to hear his story. Sheng expressed skepticism about the secretive conversation and noted that he had not received any information yet. The confrontation escalated as an intense woman questioned Sheng about his intentions, her voice sharp and unwavering. A looming threat filled the air as Sheng shared his concerns about the powerful figure coming to their home. Another character, curious and anxious, wondered why they knew so little about the situation. Tension filled the room as the bride selection announcement stirred surprise and confusion among those gathered. Sheng reacted in shock, while a female character explained that the selection involved not only his home but powerful families in the capital. A proud male character boasted about the importance of the process and the strength of their lineage. Frustration washed over Sheng as he bit his finger, blood hinting at his turmoil. He expressed anger toward the unknown rumor spreaders. If you'd like to see your favorite titles retold, leave a comment, and I'll be sure to pick some of them up from time to time. Also, let me know which video format you like more, long videos or short ones. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you again soon.